Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bommer and Griffin, the podcast that's never just straight. You know, it's like a forest, and like a forest, it's easy to lose your way, to get lost, to forget where you even came in. Once again,
You
I am
said
joined by Jackson. Sorry.
when you said the podcast isn't straight, I thought it was about to get really fruity up in here.
No, that'll be when we talk about Magic Mike.
Oh,
Um,
brilliant! Can't wait for that one.
so once again, I am joined by Jackson. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
That's good, because today we are talking about Kill Bill Volume 1. So I thought we'd just briefly talk over the movie without spoilers before we dive head first. If you're someone that hasn't seen this movie, go out and watch it. I don't feel like I need to, sing this movie's praises. I think a lot of people have heard of this before, and if you haven't seen it, please go out and see it. What can I say without spoiling it? It is a beautiful homage to Kung Fu movies. It has one of the best strong female characters, a legitimate strong female character. One of the best that I've ever seen. The yellow tracksuit kicks ass, and yeah, if you haven't seen it, go and see it. I want to talk about spoilers. uh, anything to tell the people if they haven't seen this movie before? What? Um, Anything to tell the people that haven't seen this movie? You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm losing my train of thought.
Um, no, I don't really have much to say.
Sorry, everybody. I've been doing videos all day. I'm pretty burnt. But I'm here nonetheless. And if you haven't seen Kill Bill, go out and watch it. It's a great time. Seriously, worth your time. But I think we're just going to dive into some spoilers now. And we'll kind of run chronologically. We'll jump around a bit.
The movie doesn't run chronologically.
Yeah, we'll figure it out when we get there.
90% of the movie is setting up the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and what a climactic 10 minutes it is. So, alright, we'll dive into spoilers. If you haven't seen it, please leave. Well, I'm asking people to leave the video. Fuck. Please come back after you've seen the movie.
If you haven't seen it yet, fuck off.
Yeah, we don't watch it here. God damn it. Why'd you even click on this? Alright, you saw the runtime on this thing. You knew it wasn't a 5-minute non-spoiler review. You knew that you were in for something. Maybe you thought it was a beautifully long-made video essay. No, it's a still image with us two talking to you about the movie, and we're clearly going to spoil it. Alright, I think we've bought them enough time to leave.
Yeah, I reckon that's enough time.
So chapter 1 is called chapter 2. Well, it's called 2. Where do I start? Because like you said, it isn't chronological. Maybe I should start with the idea of this movie and where it even came from.
That sounds like a good
So
enough place.
yeah, this movie it was birthed on the set of Pulp Fiction. In between shooting days on Pulp Fiction, Tarantino and Uma Thurman would come together and be like, hey, let's do this other movie. Let's keep talking about Kill Bill, this movie we're talking about. And Quentin wanted to do a homage to Kung Fu movies. And Uma Thurman kind of came up with the idea of The Bride, or, this revenge flick that Quentin wanted to do. She came up with the idea of this woman beaten like fuck in her wedding dress. And she became known as The Bride, and that ever since. And, after talks over and over, back and forth about it, eventually the idea kind of just got shelved for a while. I think it was 7 years or something between Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill. And it was a ridiculously long script. I mean, it's split into 2 parts, and it's well worth it. God, imagine a movie that was like 4 or 5 hours. I wouldn't want a hacked down version of this, because it is spectacular. So yeah, they got around, they made it. I'm glad it's here. It opens with such a violent opening. Like you get all the nice uh feature presentation titles and all that stuff, and
Yeah,
then
and
it's
then it's just
just
this pregnant woman being beaten.
yeah, just this close up of Uma Thurman just bleeding out of every orifice on her face. Like, goddamn, it was violent.
And they fucking shoot her.
Pretty much. And then we jump to, yeah, that chapter one, which is called two, because it's technically chronologically last. Yes.
Yeah,
Man,
I
yeah.
think it's the last one we see.
It should be because she's already crossed the first name off the list, and
Yeah,
that's the
'cause
second
she's
name.
going for the second name,
But
and that's why it's called
she's got the
two.
pussy wagon, which was at the start. I suppose she just kept it.
I mean, that was a kind of weird thing. I was wondering, like, where did she get the money to like go on
I
all
don't
these
know. I
trips
would assume
around
the
and
whole
shit?
like ex-assassin thing pays pretty well, and money's probably not an issue. It's just a revenge. Like, can you get it? I don't know. My mind kind of filled the gaps like that for me, so that I could
Yeah,
just watch it and enjoy it, not think too much. Because this isn't a movie to be taken 100% seriously. Like, you talk about that first fight sequence. I love how exaggerated and over the top it is. Like the sound effects when like she leaps over the table and it goes whoosh. Anytime they're swinging hands, you've got the full like um I don't know, the full like kung fu sound effects of like hands swinging and hitting each other. The sound design is one of my favorite things in this movie. Um,
I feel like I definitely came into this movie not expecting the right thing.
yeah, well, what were your expectations prior to going in?
I thought it was gonna just be like a cool action movie.
Yeah,
Which it sort of is, but I'm not really a big fan of a lot of the fight choreography.
really.
Um, yeah, I feel like a lot of it looks kind of clumsy,
I
especially in the later the big fight scene.
I loved it. I thought it was
Uh,
beautiful because it's not
um,
supposed to be realistic. It's got to look like that
yeah,
wire work kind of, and
yeah, no, I feel like it was the intention. I just didn't come in thinking it was going to be that. So when it was that, I was like, what is this fucking wacky racist shit I'm watching?
I do get it because sometimes you might want something.
Because every time somebody's in the air, they just defy gravity.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant. She's standing on shoulders, flipping around. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. Or at least I do. But I get where you're coming from. Sometimes you're kind of expecting John Wick, and then you get something else. Because
Yeah,
John Wick gives you that more grounded hand to hand
yeah.
martial arts and gun fu as they call it.
Mm.
Um, and I didn't know shit going into it the first time I seen it. I just knew Quentin Tarantino. He loves just an excess of blood. It's gonna be fun and a very well written movie, and so that's kind of all I had going in. And then yeah, as the film went, the sound effects and the sound design—that's what really sold me. I just love it. So during that opening fight, we enter the beginning of her name being bleeped, which happens quite regularly. Um,
Yes.
and despite all the bleeping, you actually can see her name on plane tickets at one point in the film. Uh,
Isn't it what's the name on the ticket? Because they mention another name, but they say that one's certainly fake.
oh, well, I don't want to spoil that just yet. You'll find out in the next one. But it's supposed to not be, you're supposed to not know yet. It just gets bleeped and stuff.
Oh,
Uh,
I didn't notice it. I didn't even realize you were supposed to find her name out.
yeah. So
Um,
I mean, I really got to tiptoe. I got to not spoil anything.
yeah, I feel like coming into this podcast with me having only watched Volume 1 and you having watched both was kind of a mistake.
Ah, it's all
Uh,
right. I'll do a good job. Well, you noticed the name being bleeped, and it's like, are they gonna
yeah.
just bleep it forever? You're
I
never gonna know the name.
Why, yeah, that's what I expected. Because I've seen people talking about this movie, but I've only ever heard her referred to as the bride.
Well, the name. Not gonna say anything. I just won't say anything. We can talk about that next week. Um,
yeah.
so I mentioned it before, but the Pussy Wagon, right? This is like one of the most iconic cars I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
I love it. And Quentin, he owns the Pussy Wagon.
It's just one of his cars that he drives around.
He drove it as his everyday vehicle to promote the release of the second Kill Bill. He licensed the use for this car to be in a couple of music videos. I think one was Missy Elliott, and it appears in the video Telephone by Lady Gaga and Beyonce. Pussy Wagon is everywhere, man.
Not really a good look though, because that car belongs to a rapist.
No, no, yeah. Is Quentin trying to tell us something? No, no, I shouldn't say things like that. I'm gonna get cancelled real quick. I love you, Quentin.
You know, he's very good.
Yeah, but I love the car. Again, it's more of Quentin's
Yeah, no,
sense of
it
humor.
looks like something from Pimp My Ride.
Yes, it does. It definitely does. Oh, forget Young Sheldon. Let's just review all of Pimp My Ride in one go.
That show's probably like fucking ran for like 15 years at least.
I have no idea how many episodes there are. Do you want to find out?
I can just Google it real
Yeah,
quick.
Google it for me real quick.
I remember seeing it come on Foxtel or whatever all the time. You never had Foxtel, did you?
Nope, I went over to your house to watch as many SpongeBob episodes as possible.
I remember that.
Oh yeah, I love the clams, the Jaws one. For obvious reasons, because I loved Jaws. And the orchestra that Mr. Krabs couldn't shut up. Anyway, how's your search? You found how many episodes there are?
Apparently there's 73 episodes.
Sounds
Yeah,
about right.
73.
That's not that bad.
Yeah.
Still, that's a lot of Pimp My Ride.
Yeah.
We haven't even done like half that in podcasts.
Yeah.
Probably as much
Almost.
runtime. Yeah. So back on track of Kill Bill. After the Pussy Wagon and all that stuff, we get to see her in the hospital, and
Oh, yeah, I wanted to mention that the woman she fights in the first part,
yes,
Vivica Fox. The only movie I know her from is Cool Cat Saves the Kids.
oh no,
I presume you know what that is, given
yeah,
your reaction.
yeah,
Yeah, she's in that movie.
really.
Yeah.
I think I knew her from only one movie. Was it Independence Day? I'm not sure.
I think she's also in like Sharknado too.
Nah, it couldn't be. Could it? We'll find out when we talk about Sharknado.
Hey man, that's your thing.
Yeah, I
You do
know.
the
I'll
Shark
get there.
movies.
I'll get with the Sharknado ones. I got different
Where's the
stuff
average-
planned.
Have you done a review on Sharknado?
Nah, man. There's too many shark movies.
Yeah, I just figured that's the bit. That's like a real big one.
Yeah, yeah. That was the one for whatever reason the mainstream media picked up and went, yeah, look at how ridiculous this is. But it's like we have Ghost Shark, motherfucker.
Yeah, no, Sharknado's really like I've watched a lot of those goofy shark movies. Like I've watched a few with you.
Yeah.
Sharknado is really nothing special.
No.
By
However,
comparison,
where that story goes, I think I've seen 5 out of 6 of them.
I've only watched the first one.
The 5th one, global swarming. Like you're talking about like some cybernetic half robot people and time travel DeLoreans and like lightsabers and like fucking yeah. If they could go there, they went there.
Fair enough.
Didn't get to see the last one because that ended with like a time.
All right, so Kill
Anyway,
Bill,
yes.
she's in the hospital.
Sorry, guys. She's in the hospital, and it's really, really hard. This scene. I don't know, man. I watch it and I fucking feel, man. I feel so bad. You know, when she's crying because she's lost her baby, and I don't want to say with the context of the second movie, it makes it harder, to watch or not? Maybe.
Um,
Because you do get a little twist at the end of this movie, which we'll talk about a little later. But
yeah.
yeah, that hospital scene's fucked. I don't know.
And then we also find out that she's been repeatedly raped for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
That was weird. Um,
No, I think it's bad, but it really adds to the. I feel so sympathetic towards this woman, and I really want her to come back swinging.
yeah.
Like they do a good job of setting her up. This whole movie is incredible when it comes to its setup.
His name is Buck. He's here to fuck.
What was I actually had something on that? What was it? The line "My name is Buck and I'm here to fuck" was taken from the opening line in Tobe Hooper's horror film Exploitation. It's called Death Trap. It came out in 1976, and Robert Englund's character says the name's Buck and I'm raring to fuck. I just thought a little homage to Tobe Hooper, the man who gave us the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's cool. There's a lot of homages in this movie. They're everywhere. I couldn't possibly name them all, but I thought that was cool. After this scene, we get, or the next thing I took notes on, and I really wonder what your thoughts are, when this movie just completely 180s and turns into an anime for like 10 minutes.
I thought that scene was pretty cool.
I thought it was great. That whole anime backstory for Lucy Liu.
Who?
Lucy Liu's the actress playing Oren Ishii.
Yeah, that's the one.
I know her as Lucy Liu. That's the one that Fry dated a robot, and the robot was Lucy Liu. Anyway, I watched too much Futurama too. But I thought that whole sequence was phenomenal. I loved the overdone art style of it, and I love it so much that I'd love for Tarantino to do a feature film in this style. I mean, I know it's not going to happen, but I would watch the hell out of it. It looks awesome.
The like sketch artwork or like the sketching
Yeah,
around like the line work looks really cool.
Oh, yeah. Apparently it's a
Also,
style he did steal from an anime in 2003, but yeah, go on.
that one guy in the flashback in like the white suit who like flicks the cigarette across the room on the cigar. He's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that whole sequence is brutal. Like the stabbing through the bed and the blood rain on the face, like it's just off its head. This movie is very violent. I have the Blu-ray and it's rated R. It's full on. But I love, Quentin's over-the-top blood. It's just insanity, especially towards the end. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I have to get that beautiful fucking piece, that anime piece, which I love. Again, more brilliant setup. This film does so much great setup. We get to meet Hanzo and deal with Hanzo.
He's great. He's my favorite character in the film.
Yeah?
I love that guy.
What makes him your favorite? Is it just him like telling his his employee to just shut up?
I don't know. He's just seems like a really cool guy, and also he makes katanas.
Yeah,
which is super cool.
And he treats them with nothing but respect. Gotta love it. This is making me think of that Adult Swim commercial where like what's it, the guy selling swords on the infomercial at night.
That's swords, knives, cutlery, and other sharp objects, I believe it's called. That one's fucking awesome.
It's so good. Yeah, no. Hanzo reminds me of him.
All those Adult Swim infomercials are great. There's actually so many of them.
Oh yeah, they just go on and on. But I love Hanzo, even though he pegs a baseball at our lady. But sorry, she cuts it in half. That was done for real.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny, even in context. It's like he just really counted on her slicing through that.
Yeah, pretty much. But they did that for real. There was a stunt woman for Uma Thurman's part there, but Yeah, it was done legitimately.
Like, wait, so they actually cut a baseball in half
Yeah,
with a
they
gun?
really did that.
That's cool. I didn't
um,
even,
mm,
I because I don't know what's inside a baseball, so I didn't even know if you could cut through one like that.
I
Um,
I don't really know either. I'm assuming that's what was in the inside. Um, it wasn't just a bunch of like a rubber band ball underneath or something.
yeah.
Uh, so we get to meet Hanzo. Hanzo gets to make swords and stuff. He comes out of retirement to make one more for the bride, which I love. And then we get to see Uma in the yellow jumpsuit, tracksuit outfit, or whatever.
Well, she's in like a biker
Yeah,
version of it, and
and
then she has the other one
yeah,
underneath it.
yeah, and I unironically love it. I really do.
Oh, I thought it looked pretty cool.
Like, if I was Uma Thurman, I would just walk around in that all the time, and people would fucking know not to fuck with me.
Would you also just be carrying a katana?
Yeah, and someone's like head, and a few other things. But yeah, um, the yellow outfit, it was inspired by the outfit worn by Bruce Lee in his final film, Game of Death. Because bright yellow and shit. You might have
Yeah.
seen Bruce Lee with that yellow.
I've seen Bruce Lee in that.
Yeah. Which I thought was very cool. Um, we also got that dun 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 fucking shot, the close up, the famous
Yeah.
music, and I think, unfortunately for me, the first time I'd ever seen that done was the first Transformers movie, and I'm
I
thinking,
could never tell you where I first saw it.
no, you can't.
Nah, no chance.
Oh
That's all over
really?
the place.
I don't know, but no, I really want you to tell me. I'll just bleep the whole thing if it's that bad.
No, I mean like I literally couldn't tell you. I don't remember.
Uh,
It's so it's so commonly used.
I thought there was like some really twisted story I was about to hear. Like,
No,
I can't tell you. It was like some two girls, one cup stuff. I just can't
I
tell
could
you.
tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
God, we have to watch that series. I really have to.
Uh,
I had a nightmare about that man the other day.
did you actually
It,
end up watching an episode or two when
no,
you were watching it?
I haven't just yet,
We're
but I
talking about Wolf
will.
Creek, by the
Yeah, I
way.
will get around to it for sure.
Hmm.
So yeah, this gave us that famous shot that's everywhere. Um, the music's iconic. I remember trying to find the music and I'm thinking, oh yeah, that thing that happened in Transformers, that would be really funny to use that music in a video. And I just kept finding the Kill Bill soundtrack, which also led me down the road of eventually watching this movie. Um, but yeah, that's great. I feel like there's a couple of things in this that have just been memed so hard it almost takes you out of the movie sometimes.
That happens with the sound effect that plays every single time she sees one of her targets.
Yeah, yeah.
That sound effect, every time I heard it, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know, you're like, wow, that was done for like real. That wasn't a joking
And then they
meme
do it
template.
twice within 5 minutes, and I'm pretty like, is it? I was wondering if it was supposed to be like a joke.
I don't know. I think
It,
it's just
it,
supposed to be she sees red. She's gone from I'm
it
calm and
is not.
composed to
It
I'm
is a
gonna
very
kill.
unpleasant sound.
No, no, yeah, it's so
It's
jarring.
not. Yeah, it's this alarm blaring.
Pretty much. But we get a lot of impressive things within this sequence. I don't want to say scene because it's like this long. I mean, it's good. What 30 minutes at this place.
Yeah,
But we get
something like
the
that.
a shot with the live band. That's the one take shot where the camera follows her and then goes up over the walls and gives you like a
Yeah,
bird's
that
eye
shot
view
was
shot.
cool.
Yeah,
Um,
so much effort that's probably just not necessary at all. But I appreciate it. As someone that shoots enough things with a camera, I know when there's been some serious effort put in there. And yeah, it's fantastic. There's so many things. Um, I like that. Like another thing in that sequence, when the bride is walking towards the stairs, you can see like under the glass at one point, like underneath the soles of her feet. And I don't know if you were able to read it in time, but the soles of her shoes, they read "fuck you." just little things everywhere that weren't necessary. I need those Asics, man. I need those yellow shoes. Who am I kidding? I wouldn't be able to wear them. I don't think I could rock yellow shoes, man. I dream. So there's a schoolgirl called Go-Go in this movie.
Yeah, and
She's a
fucking
savage.
yeah.
Uh, the scene where she like flings her ball and chain out and shit. She accidentally hit Quentin in the head as he stood by the camera.
Nice.
And probably one of my favorite parts in the film has to do with her, where she gets like knocked, does a full flip, smashes through a table, and you can hear the sound of bowling pins being knocked over.
Yeah, I heard that one.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. I don't know how he even thinks it up. I don't know why she very much irritated me the first time I watched this movie. I went, I just really don't like you, and your laugh and everything. Just Uma, kill her. Don't know why.
Goofing.
Yeah, I think it's just kids in general, antagonizing them more and more, just a little each day. But after we deal with, is it Go-Go or Goo-Goo? No, Go-Go. It's gonna be Go-Go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We see, in my opinion, what is one of the best fight sequences ever put to film with the Crazy 88. Like, it's complete style over realism, like I said, but I couldn't care less. I just think it's phenomenal. Like, the tension building up to it, looking in the reflection of the blade, and then just breaking it down. I love those first few slashes where like she flings around backwards and like cuts 3 throats in one go and shit. I just thought it was awesome. Down to her like, yeah, breaking it down like on her back, spinning around like she's breakdancing and just cutting feet off left and right.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're not really into it because, oh, I guess you did expect it, is what you were saying, not that you weren't into it.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's like, yeah, I can enjoy it for what it is, but it's just not the kind of thing that I like, that I really enjoy.
Yeah, right.
Because like I'm a big fan of like, realistic or like real sword,
Yeah.
like martial arts and fighting style,
Yeah.
especially Japanese ones. Some of those are really cool.
Yeah.
And she's out here fucking disgracing the katana, with the way she's swinging it around.
Yeah, I know. I guess you just get the more over the top Japanese
Yeah.
kung fu movies, where she stands on people's shoulders and is swinging the sword around and then
Yeah.
flying up things with the wire work, and with that style you're able to do like those huge kung fu kicks where you just literally fly across the room holding the same pose.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess the first time I watched this movie I was in just the right time and headspace that I was enjoying it so much just for what it was, that when that scene kicked in, I went, oh my fucking god, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Because it just kept going and going. Then she's plucked out someone's eye and everything goes black and white.
Yeah, when it went black and white, that was when I started to get it. I was like, oh, this is supposed to be like Kurosawa.
Yeah.
He's like a Japanese filmmaker.
So it was a homage to 70s and 80s US television airings of kung fu movies, because the black and white, it was used back in the 70s and 80s to conceal the shedding of blood from television censors. Originally in the movie there wasn't going to be any black and white effects, and in the Japanese version there aren't any, but the MPAA, which is all American stuff, they demanded measures be taken to tone the scene down. So Tarantino used the old trick for its intended purpose as well as a homage, which I think is just beautiful.
But wait, did you just say the Japanese version of this film has none of the blood?
No, the black and white filter.
Ah,
I'm pretty
okay.
sure.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, how the fuck do you even do that?
No, no, no. What I do know is that scene just was the hardest thing that Quentin has ever done. It took about 6 hours just to rehearse it, and the entire thing was shot in 7 takes. Like they had to, because it's a one take thing, kind of. I wasn't there. I can't accurately explain exactly what was happening, but it was a shot that once you started, you were spilling blood everywhere. You know what I mean? And all this fake blood was shooting everywhere, and he
Yeah.
demanded everything be practically done. I mean, not realistic, but practically, no CG and stuff. So, if halfway
Yeah, we
through it,
can't get the janitors around for every single shot.
yeah. So imagine, you're halfway through and then one thing messes up or it just didn't look right the way you wanted it to. Shit, you've got to stop. You've got to clean up everything, get everyone back and set up and ready to go again. God, it was a nightmare.
Yeah,
Apparently,
I
the
can imagine.
Steadicam operator, he was rumored, beg my pardon, he was rumored to have passed out from exhaustion just trying to do it. Um, to give you a
As
bit of,
opposed to any of the people actually fighting.
yeah. Uh, well, I suppose they only have to like jump in for a second, get cut to pieces, and then that's it. Uh,
Well, I mean, Uma Thurman would have been fighting for like 6 hours, or like a stunt double, I guess.
yeah. Um, but that sequence, it took 8 weeks to film it. And to give you a bit of context, that's the same amount of time it took to film the entirety of Pulp Fiction. Um, and yeah, from everything I've heard, it was just a nightmare. It was the one thing that Quentin was like, "Fuck, I might just give up on this. Like, it's just too hard. We might not be able to get it, and I really want to." But they persevered, and they actually got it, which I thought was amazing, and I think it's well worth it.
Yeah.
It's funny
Well,
hearing.
that's easy for you to say because you weren't part of the production.
Oh yeah, no, I just get to enjoy it for what it is. I like
Same way
even
with
more that you're
Jaws.
like, yeah, I'm just not really into it, and he's just worked like 8 weeks, like, oh, worked his ass off. Um, yeah, I was just enjoying the movie enough for what it was, but that scene just pushed it over the line for me. I went, oh my fucking god, this is amazing. I didn't even need this, but it just keeps going, and she just keeps cutting off more limbs, and she's spinning on the floor, cutting feet off, and then eyes are getting jabbed out, and then she's literally spanking the last one with her sword.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny how she let the last guy go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she let a whole bunch of them go, but
Yeah, but your
not in.
limbs, they stay with me. God, like when you look at it like that from that overhead perspective, how much blood and how much of a mess
Yeah,
it
no,
was.
when it showed how many fucking people were dead in that room, I was like, holy shit.
Oh man,
It really was 88 people.
yeah,
Because
it's
the
crazy.
when she first comes in, she fights like five guys. I was like, were those five guys the crazy 88? Like, I was that the big fight scene everyone was talking about?
Yeah, well, uh, shit, I lost my train of thought. Um, I love the guy that runs the Crazy 88, the guy that just yells at the top of his lungs, the bald guy.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he was hired just because of the way he yells.
that's probably
Like
sounds
Tarantino
about
saw
right.
him and was like, I want him. He will do exactly what I need for this role. So, for me, the whole movie is constantly beautiful setup and build up. And for me, it makes the last fight with Lucy Liu feel a little underwhelming. At
I
least,
definitely felt the same way about that fight. At
yeah,
least
like
that's something we can
the
agree on.
yeah, that's how I felt. You had like the beautiful anime
I
sequence, just
I was expecting like a fucking showdown,
yeah, yeah.
but
All of a sudden, it decides to be realistic again. It only takes a couple slashes and
They're
it's
still
over.
not actually using
Yeah,
like proper sword fighting style.
yeah. But yeah, got that beautiful anime sequence that really
And
builds up
like
her, and then
they're in this like really cool like snow guard. I was expecting
yeah,
like a really fucking cool katana duel.
yeah,
Um,
and it's not bad. I just think it just did such a good job of setting everything up that it almost comes off as underwhelming. Like you just had her kill 88 guys in the most crazy fashion possible, just for it to end in like a couple of blows. Um, I do like how Lucy Liu's character, she says like you won't last like 5 minutes or something like that. And from the moment Uma Thurman takes a step forward until the fatal blow of Lucy Liu, it is exactly 4 minutes and 59 seconds. But as far as the entire fight being done and completed, and like not just the final blow, but she's gets her head cut. That was, I think it was 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Um, just thought it was interesting, but
kind of like the thing in the first Batman we watched, where it's like timed out exactly.
yeah, yeah. 10 podcasts later, we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
um, Originally, she was going to be decapitated, but then she never would have known that that was actually one of the swords.
Didn't she show off the brand? The like
Yeah,
shisha? That's what that little lion's called. It's called a shisha.
yeah. You know what?
Oh,
Now that you bring it up, like that's right. She should have known it's a Hanzo sword, but I guess she only knew because it cut clean through her brain.
yeah, she just. I did think that was all goofy. How she was like, she gets fucking like scalped.
Yeah,
Well, it's even better than scalped because you can survive being scalped, but you couldn't survive that.
yeah, it's a little bit deeper.
Um,
uh, and then so she takes down Lucy Liu. The Crazy 88 are dead. It was just awesome. It's one of my favorite scenes of all time. And then after all this, she basically we get all the setup we'll need for the next film, along with the twist that her daughter is still alive. And what did you think of that? Does that make you want to see the next one?
I mean, I already feel like I didn't watch a full movie. Uh,
Yeah, I
uh,
think it just does a great job of like, oh fuck, there's so many more members on the list we got to kill, and we
I
haven't
mean,
even.
yeah, I, it's like that specific reveal didn't change anything because I already felt like what like I was already like, yeah, I haven't seen Michael Madsen yet.
Yeah,
He's the coolest. I loved him in fucking Reservoir Dogs and Hateful Eight.
yeah.
Um,
Um, now I'm not gonna say nothing.
yeah, no, I prefer it that way.
But I love how, despite everything like we've been given in this entire movie, we have never seen Bill in this movie, and we have no idea what the bride's actual name is. But we're 100% there to see these two people meet and what the hell's gonna go down. Which I don't know. For me, it's a testament to everything that Quentin's done with this movie. I think it's brilliant. So, this movie, it took 6 years to write the entire script before being split into two parts. The original draft was about 220 pages long, which is long. Um, and it didn't help that during the production, Tarantino wrote new scenes as he was shooting, so they compiled a massive amount of footage by the end of it. Um, in terms of a body count, this movie has 95. Eat your heart out, John Wick.
I wonder where the fucking lion's share of those come from.
Surely it wouldn't be from those 88 guys. That's a lot, though. God damn. For the role of Oren Ishii, uh, Quentin wanted to cast a full Japanese actress to play her. But before the casting begun, he saw Lucy Liu's work in I think it was Shanghai Noon, which came out in 2000, and he immediately changed the character completely to be a Chinese Japanese American so that she could play the part. Now back on now, yeah, we haven't talked about a Quentin Tarantino movie before. This is the first time we're doing it, and I think I got to bring up the fact that this man loves feet. I don't even think I've reviewed one of his movies.
I was waiting for an opportunity to mention that because this was especially egregious. This and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah, they're very on the nose. Like,
Those
come
are
on.
the two big ones.
Oh yeah, you got a second Kill Bill film, yeah.
Can't wait. You know that scene when she's in the pussy wagon, and it is just like
Yeah.
on focusing on her feet for so long.
My man's got a kink, you know. He's got a. I don't even know if I can justify it.
It's not
different.
even like if. Because do you remember when fucking Bob Odenkirk was following the foot fetish Instagram account? You probably heard about that.
I think so.
Yeah, if Quentin Tarantino was like if somebody found out Quentin Tarantino was doing that, wouldn't even be fucking new.
No, not at all. Oh, I swear this man has a foot fetish, and you know what? That's okay. We all have our quirks and things that we enjoy doing, and it's harmless, provided he. I love. He was asked in an interview. I think, how does it feel to have gotten every famous woman like you've ever want to show their feet on camera? Like for him, this has to be the ultimate joyride, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's done Uma Thurman twice because she was in bare feet in Pulp Fiction too.
Yeah. So Lucy Liu is barefoot in this movie as well when she runs to kill the boss Tanaka. Sorry. Terrible.
She also
terrible
takes her
pronunciation.
shoes off for the final duel, but she doesn't take her socks off.
Yeah, that's why she.
I bet Quentin Tarantino was pushing for it, but they were fighting in the snow, so.
Yeah, he's like, no, we've got to do it. We can't fake it. It's got to be real. No, Quentin, it's snowing. I'm freezing out here. I'm not going barefoot. Oh, all right. So yeah, when she decapitates that guy, yes, she's barefoot. The band at the House of Blue Leaves, the place where the finale takes place, the band is barefoot.
Yeah.
And obviously the bride is barefoot as she escapes the hospital. And you know, in the back of the car, yeah, man, he's got a thing for feet. I mean, even in Pulp Fiction, it shows Uma Thurman's bare feet before we're introduced to her and we see her face. Like, here's Uma Thurman's feet, and now here is Uma Thurman. So,
and then in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, there are that scene when that one lady is in the car with Brad Pitt, and she just puts her fucking dirty feet up on the dashboard,
yeah,
right in the camera, and that's for like a solid 2 minutes.
Yeah, I really like that actress, but that scene is very off-putting.
It's also the other actress who plays Catherine Tate, I think. She does that in the movie theater.
Yeah. What did you think of Uma Thurman in this?
I thought she was pretty good.
Because we've just come off of her playing Poison Ivy. And then this shows you she could be a great actress. I really enjoy
She was a great actress when she was overdosing on heroin in Pulp Fiction.
For fuck's sake. Yeah, it was so on point, you know. I watched that overdose happen live in front of me. It was real.
Whoa. It's like I'm really there.
God, I keep thinking of that one clickhole post that's, what was it, Owen Wilson about using a fake dead dog or something. He's like, no, you can't fake it. It's gotta be real. Period. Or something. I keep thinking of that and I keep referencing it all the time. Like, nah, it couldn't be a fake overdose. It's gotta be real. You just can't. You know, that's how we got that shot. Just studying, you know, real ones. I'm getting way off track. I'm getting myself cancelled shortly. Well, something fun that happened during filming was that Uma Thurman, her character's codename in the film Black Mamba, apparently is also the name of a type of vibrator. when it was
What's
pointed
the
out to
name of
her,
Mega Man's? Oh, Mega Mind's.
yeah,
Um,
Black
like
Mamba.
ultimate outfit.
Yeah, that's the real reference. That's what it's for. Ahead of its time. But when this was pointed out to Uma, she said, "In my personal experience, I've never come across that particular model, and I've tried a few." I mean, that's like the most charismatic answer I could have ever read. Big up Uma Thurman trying out those vibrators. All right, what is?
She should have just been like, yeah, it was product placement.
Yeah, yeah, it was product placement. Easy. Um, when the bride stands over the remains of the crazy 88s, a masked, God damn it, a masked Tarantino is actually among them, lying in the
Was
ground
he
bleeding
in
out.
the fight scene?
I'm not sure,
Or
but I
does he
do
just
know.
play one of the dead bodies?
I think he just plays one of the dead bodies at the end that's just lying there. Which I,
So he does the easy
yeah.
part.
Um, the closing title card based on the character of the bride created by Q and U. That's actually just a reference to the first initials of Quentin Tarantino and Uma Thurman, because they came up with it together.
Yeah, I guessed that Q standard for Quentin Tarantino, but I couldn't tell who you was
Yeah.
until now.
Um, and yeah, despite them, trying to bleep it out of the film, the name of the bride is there. It's on plane tickets, to Okinawa from Tokyo, for a split second. So I don't know. Is
And
it a?
maybe it wasn't a mistake.
I think
To
it was
leave
a
it there.
mistake because they don't want you to know. But if you, I guess if you're clever enough and you really watch it, you can see it.
Well, you probably wouldn't pick it up if you were watching it in like theaters or something.
No, I know. I definitely didn't the first time around. Um. So you know who plays Bill, do you?
David Carradine?
Yes.
Ooh.
Um. I thought if you didn't, because you don't see his face. Um, four separate actors were approached for playing Bill, and they all passed. Uh, the first one being Jack Nicholson.
Wait. Oh, okay. When
My,
you said they passed, I thought you meant they died.
no, they passed on playing the role of Bill. No, Jack
I was
Nicholson
like,
will never
holy
die,
shit,
Jackson. He will
I
never
was like, holy
die.
shit, is this role cursed?
No, he won't die. He'll always be dancing to Prince in that first Batman movie. Alright? Forever in the back of my head on one foot, waving his arms around, knocking statues over.
That scene in that movie is so good.
It is really good. The Prince is a little dated, but it's good. But Jack Nicholson, he could have been Bill and passed on the role. Kurt Russell also passed on it. So did Mickey Rourke and Burt Reynolds. They all did not want a part in playing Bill, and I don't know why, because at this point in Tarantino's bloody career, right, fourth movie, and they've been that good so far, why would you say no?
What were the? It was Reservoir Dogs, Jackie Brown, and Pulp Fiction before this, right?
Yes.
I haven't actually seen Jackie Brown.
I haven't either. We should be checking that out. I think it's that one, and is it Death Proof?
I think something like that.
Yeah, there's only a couple of them I haven't seen, but I would really love to see them. But, we're talking about Kill Bill, and we're going to be finishing up everything on Kill Bill first. You can't watch this first part and then be like, all right, let's not watch the second one for a few months. Because I remember, as soon as I finished watching the first one, the twist it left me on, I was like, I need to put the second disc in right now. I need to know what happens. I need to see who Bill is and what he looks like. I wouldn't wait around to find out who's acting as who or anything. I just wanted to watch it unfold. And like the first one, it's also very good, but it's different. It's its own kind of movie as well. Still over the top kung fu. It's great. I don't want to say too much. Anyway, first Kill Bill, brilliant. I really like it. Is it my favorite Tarantino movie? No, but
What is?
good question. I mean, Pulp Fiction is up there. Just, just the scenes of Samuel L. Jackson and bloody the crazy man from The Fanatic. Why do I remember him as that? We have to watch that movie sometime. Seriously, John Travolta. The Fanatic is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever fucking seen. Actually, can we? I know what we're doing. I've got the idea. I'm writing it down right now. All right. So when this thing comes out way later, this is exactly where it started. Okay. Yeah, The Fanatic's awesome. In the worst ways. It's brilliant. But anyway, this movie, I really enjoy it. Favorite one, Pulp Fiction, maybe. I do like the Hateful Eight.
I love the Hateful Eight.
Yeah. And I even
My
really like
favorite is Reservoir Dogs, though.
Reservoir Dogs is great. I also love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's hard to pick a favorite. Then you mention like Django, and it's like, oh god, there's so many great classics to choose from. How does Kill Bill rank in your Tarantino catalog scale? Is it up there, or is it one of the lesser ones you enjoyed?
I mean, without watching two, it's probably one of the lower ones. But maybe watching two will send it up. I don't know exactly how I'd rank them.
Yeah,
Like,
it's really hard to. They're beautiful in their own way, each one.
like I don't know if I had to pick a favorite. I think I already mentioned that Reservoir Dogs are my favorite like a minute ago.
Yeah,
Uh, like Pulp Fiction is fucking awesome. That will always be like
yeah.
holy shit.
It's just that
So good.
meandering conversation in between, like the actual things that are supposed to be important that make that so great. Like that whole conversation at the start about giving foot massages, that you're not supposed to see, but you're seeing it in its full glory. It's great. English, motherfucker, do you speak it? Like, it's great. I really like this movie. I think I've made that pretty damn clear. I'm not sure what else to say on it before wrapping up my thoughts, really. We're running short on time. We've got heaps of time yet. And I don't know. Quentin kills it. Uma Thurman kills it. Very excited to rewatch the second one again. Maybe you'll come out of the second one enjoying it more. Having the full picture.
Have a better idea as to what I'm actually going into.
Yeah. I think for me in hindsight, I think I prefer the first one a little more. But hopefully that, lowers your expectations for the second one and you come out enjoying it even more. Because it's not bad. Nowhere near bad. But that is Kill Bill. In other news, what is going on in the movie news? We have the new Black Panther movie came out. What's it?
How is it?
Wakanda Forever. I haven't seen it. And,
why not?
Because I just don't want to. I don't know. The trailers just seemed very uninspired to me. Apparently, it's pretty good. It's Marvel returning to form and actually being somewhat talented. Not just giving you She-Hulk and Thor: Love and Thunder. They're giving you...
Are you not a fan of Thor: Love and Thunder?
I gave it a positive review at the time because I don't know. I guess I had a bit more of a funner experience first preview, but the more I thought about it, the more it just kind of weighed on me like it was really just wasting my time and it wasn't that funny. Yeah, I don't know. My opinion kind of flip-flops with that movie back and forth. Going from, yeah, it's pretty good to, God, it's so bad and it's really destroyed the MCU to, it's not that bad. It's just a very basic Marvel movie that's a little bit of fun. And it's not actually doing that much damage. It's not hurting anyone. And if you don't like it, you don't watch it. So, I don't know. But apparently, this new one is going to be dealing with Chadwick Boseman's passing since Black Panther is no longer with us. And I thought that the movie would just be focused entirely on side characters, and because of that, it might not have much to do as a movie. But apparently, with a runtime of like 2 hours and 40 minutes, it's pretty solid. Apparently, and because they're dealing with the serious subject of, an actor of ours has passed away. The movie doesn't just make it a Joker second kind of movie. So I suppose I'll watch it, like Black Adam, which I will have to watch at some point as well. Um,
The only thing I've seen of Black Adam, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but
I haven't
there's
yet.
like a picture. No, I mean like specifically, there's a frame somebody took of The Rock just like launching downwards in like a fucking torpedo.
Oh yes, I have seen that screenshot. I have. It looks ridiculous.
Looks so fucking stupid.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely there for it. I want to know. Uh, I will watch it. Um, James Cameron, he told us that Avatar 2 has a 3 hour runtime.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and apparently they
I'm
didn't
not
spend.
gonna watch it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do it. Maybe it's only because they keep talking about how it's going to be like 5 movies, rather than just. I just wanted to. I think I'd
How
be
many
more.
years has it been since the first one? It's been like
First one was
16 years.
first one. Yeah, was like 2009. I think. Could be
Oh, so
wrong.
that's something like 13 years.
Yeah, it's still a long time, but I think I'd be more excited for this if they just announced they were doing just Avatar 2, and it was like, oh, cool, we kind of get to go back and see this world, not knowing that this is the start of a long line of Avatar movies. That I don't care to fucking be
Was the
patient.
first movie actually so good that it needed 7 sequels
It's a good
to
debate to
tell
have
this?
because for me, as a kid
Like,
watching it at 9, I went, that was good, but why is this the biggest movie of all time? I understand
I feel like that's what I hear a lot of people saying as adults
yeah, for me it was.
watching it.
I
It's
can
like, wow, this is
understand
very
on a technical level the visual effects and the technology. They were really pushing it at the time, and
yeah, that was truly groundbreaking.
the resurgence of 3D at the same time as this also helped aid this movie. Uh, but I'm a man that's not just there for visual effects. I am there for story and plot and characters, and I could not tell you a single character's name in that movie. I just can't. And the premise was the most simple. We're trying to save our tree of life, and man and machine are going to destroy that, and the blue people are going to be upset because the tree's getting destroyed. Like, it does not feel original in any way. That's definitely a concept we've seen and been told a million times before. So I didn't understand it really. For me, if the second one wants to fucking carry a franchise, it's gotta be good. And I'm already not on board knowing that I'm not gonna
I
get a
mean, yeah,
conclusion.
how much can it really rely on pushing technology forward? Like, what could you even really do in
I tell you
with
what,
that
it
anymore?
looks fantastic. The trailer has shown some of the best visual effects I've ever seen. But yeah, it's not gonna be enough for a 3 hour runtime for me. I need more than that. And like, yeah, if you want to carry a franchise, you want to give me something more than just visuals. I need a story. I need something else. Otherwise,
Kind
I'm
of like
not there.
it's kind of like the opposite of the Half-Life games, because you know Half-Life. Well, you at least
Yeah,
you've heard of it.
yeah,
The reason they haven't made a third game in so long is because Valve has said that they like only want to make a new one when they can do something truly groundbreaking, like the past ones have been. Because
yeah,
like Half-Life 2 was massive step forward for first-person shooters and stuff. They're basically historic,
yeah,
and that's why a third one hasn't been made for so long.
yeah, yeah. No, I
um,
heard that's always been in development hell. Like,
yeah,
it's happening, but not, and people are waiting, and just doesn't seem like it's ever gonna come.
yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah, but as much as I want to give movies a fair crack, he is very, very critical of all the Marvel movies, and all of that stuff. And I understand him to a certain extent, but if you're going to be that critical and that bashing of something that's doing so well, that's so loved, you got to be able to back up your own work. Like, yes, you gave us Terminator 2. You gave us Aliens. Like, you've given us some masterpieces, alright? But you've got to keep swinging, man. If Avatar 2 comes out and it's just ass in terms of a story, but then he wants to say that Marvel movies just have no character whatsoever, you know, and that characters aren't
Have they
allowed to
even
evolve or
done
grow.
anything since the first Avatar?
Um, I'm not sure. I don't know. I know he went to like the deepest part of the ocean.
Did he film it and put it on the silver screen?
I don't think so. But that's a thing he did.
But why?
But why? Why would you do that? I have no idea. Ask James Cameron. I don't know. I just know that that was something he did.
Yeah, no, I have heard of that story.
Yeah.
Heard it from South Park.
Not that I'm a huge fan or have even seen half of these, but we're getting a fourth Conjuring movie. That's on the way.
I haven't seen any of
That's all right.
them.
But I just thought I'd bring it up for anyone that's listening that wants to know that there is a fourth one on the way. You know what? I'm gonna drop the movie news for a second. We'll just talk some general conversation for the last part of this podcast. So Elon Musk has Twitter.
Yeah, that's something I heard about.
Yeah, so he basically like I don't know if he threatened to buy it, but he was like, "I'll buy Twitter." So then Twitter were all like up in arms about like, "Oh shit, he's gonna buy Twitter. We're gonna do this." And then Elon was like, "Nah, I don't want to buy Twitter. I'm pulling out." But then apparently that could contribute to market manipulation and could have changed stocks and investments in Twitter because Elon said he was going to, but then he didn't. So Twitter basically made him pull through and buy Twitter. Like,
Wait, he's not even allowed to...
well, he was like, "Yeah, I'll buy Twitter." So that changes everything. Then he's like, "No,
Like,
I
did
don't
they
want."
make like a contract or something that he was gonna buy it? Was it just like a verbal, I'm gonna buy it, and then they're like, all right, you have to now.
Yeah, that it was just a verbal thing, and it's slowly turned
Oh,
into a lot of legal problems
surely,
where he has to actually buy it, and he did. He bought it for $44 billion because
what?
that's Elon
Pocket
flexing.
change.
So
Pocket change for someone like that, I assume.
yeah, so he bought it, and he fired like everybody.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He's fired that many people. It's insanity at this point. And then
Something I also heard was use of the N word went up by like 600%.
really?
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's horrid.
because the censorship got a lot more relaxed.
Well, yeah, I think he unbanned Trump and a few other people, a lot of
Yeah,
Republicans.
I
I'm
think he
not political,
unsuspended
but
Kanye West because Kanye West made all those anti-Semitic
yeah,
um quotes and stuff. That
it
was
feels like
very racist, actually.
everybody on Twitter just hates him at the moment. But like, where are the people like Kanye and Trump that are getting unbanned that are like kind of on board with this? I'm not a pro Elon or anti Elon person. I'm just simply observing what's going on, and Elon is
I
lighting
mean,
that site on fire.
apparently he's gonna make it like a paid thing. Um,
So
that's something I heard about.
what he's doing is Twitter is remaining free, but if you want that little blue special check mark next to your name, $8 a month. That's what he said. So all of my feed is just filled with those people being like, "This is bullshit. What happened to free speech and all this crap?" And he's like, "No, Twitter is still free, but if you want your blue check, that's $8."
Doesn't that defeat the point if anyone can get one? Because
I suppose so.
the point is that only a select few people have it.
I guess
That's how you know that
he changed rules
fucking
for like doppelganger accounts that pretend to be someone. You get like no leeway. You're immediately like banned and like you're done.
oh.
There's all sorts of changes he's making. You can't even keep up with what's going on. But I'm floating on Twitter a little bit, and my entire feed is people just being like, this is not okay, Elon. You can't charge $8. And he's like, okay, I hear your constructive criticism, but still pay $8. And just pissing people off.
I heard about I think it was actually supposed to be $20, which I would say is actually pretty steep for the average person who wants to use Twitter.
Yeah, it started with like,
And then Stephen King, I think, of all people, was the one who was like, "What the fuck, dude?"
yeah, it
And
was
then he
something
lowered it
like
to
that.
$8.
Something like that. He's like, yeah, $22. We need to actually make Twitter a place where we can actually gain some profit because it's just in constant debt and slipping worse. And then yeah, I think it was someone like Stephen King that was like, bro, what the hell? He's like, all right, fine, $8. And then it's just been $8 ever since, and he just keeps going and going. So that's happening. I haven't been affected so far, which is good. Um, thanks, Elon. I guess I'm
Yeah,
a
I
friend.
was never verified, so I don't care.
Yeah. Uh, so this will come out after my final review of Better Call Saul. If you wanted to quickly ask some questions about anything like that, anything that happened in that show, where I can actually get into it now since it'll all be out in public, for the last few minutes, man, is there anything in particular in that show you wanted to hear from on my thoughts on? Because I might miss something in that video.
Kim Wexler's feet. What did you think of those?
Kim Wexler's feet. I actually don't think I talked about Kim in that review. She's great,
That
by the way.
that seems like a big thing to not mention. She's like a very major character.
Yeah.
What do you? How do you not mention her? She's
There's a lot that
instrumental.
happens in that fucking season, man. Right, a lot of people are by spoiling it. Yeah, I suppose I'm spoiling it a bit. If you haven't, if you've made it this far and you haven't seen Better Call Saul, see you later. Don't watch any further than this because we're gonna be spoiling Better Call Saul. Unless you've seen it, hang around. Otherwise, thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you next week when we talk about the second Kill Bill. Okay, spoilers. Better Call Saul. Kim Wexler's feet, extremely. I can't remember. I can't remember at all.
They are shown so often
In like the last season, or is it like throughout the
in
whole show?
the entire show. Her feet are basically they're almost shown like once every 2 episodes.
Really? Because I feel
Yeah.
like I can remember seeing her feet, but not like it was constant.
It is actually pretty constant.
Oh man, bro, how funny was that scene where Howard got shot in the head?
That was pretty goofy, yeah.
Dude, I had a good chuckle to myself the way his head just donk. You know,
Yeah, I
and
was
then
gonna
the laugh
mention the
track
way
kicked
his
in.
head donks, like just like how Chuck's does. I know.
Yeah.
Did I mention because I was watching season 6 with my friend.
Yep.
I was rewatching. I'd already seen it, but that first episode in the country club where they plant the little bag of like flour, it's because it's not actually cocaine. But it's meant to look like it.
Yeah.
When he saw that, he just says like, "Oh, that's mean," and I'm like, "Okay, that's a weird reaction coming from him. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy." I was like, "What?" And then he said, "Oh, they put an extra small condom in
Wait.
his locker, so everyone thinks he has a tiny penis."
Oh, that makes sense. I was just like, yeah, I'm thinking, what? That is a weird scene to fucking go, that's mean.
And then and then the funnier part is that Cliff Main's like, "Yeah, I've seen plenty of those."
Yeah, I didn't notice that either. I always thought it was just the cocaine plant.
You know, it was. He was completely wrong. There was no condom at all.
Oh, what? I'm so
He was,
confused.
you know, he was just completely misunderstood what happened.
Oh no. Man, the body count in that season is insane.
Yeah,
Nacho's gone, and then Howard's gone, and then the show's gone, and it's black and white.
Lalo's gone.
Lalo, my fucking dad.
Oh yeah, what did you think of them just getting buried on the super lab?
I thought that was awesome. I thought that was fucking awesome. Somehow through the show having its like identity crisis, that's kind of what I call it, because it's a half drug cartel show, then a half lawyer show. That somehow,
Yeah, no, I feel like there's a lot of symbolic weight to the fact that they share a grave.
well, that like Howard was like the villain for the lawyer side of things, and then Lalo's the villain for the cartel side of things, and something is very poetic about the fact that they're both buried together in the same place under the fucking meth lab. That's
Yeah.
cool. I'm really excited to go back and watch Breaking Bad, knowing that there's two bodies right under fucking neath them. Like that whole meth lab was a plant of evil from the start.
Yeah, the funny thing is everybody in Breaking Bad knows about those two bodies except for fucking Walter and Jesse and probably Gale.
Yeah, yeah, Jack
Like the
Gale
people
knows.
that actually use this lab are the only ones who don't know that there were two dead bodies underneath it.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I think that's great. That really does elevate Breaking Bad a fair bit.
I absolutely like. I think I mentioned this last time we talked about Better Call Saul briefly and its ending.
Yeah,
But everything right up until it commits to going black and white, um, I love that part of season six, like the first three quarters.
oh yeah, me too.
And then when it commits to going black and white, it has an entire episode dedicated to him stealing fucking Gucci clothes from
Yeah, from the mall,
the from the mall. And
and
I'm like, eh.
yeah, for me it just like I understand what they were doing. They had to kind of explain what happened to Saul, but at the end of season six, like you're ramping to your finale, like at that
This yeah, no,
episode count
it's
in Breaking Bad, we were at Ozymandias to just cut the energy and the pace that it was building. Just
yeah, no.
like everything
Um
was good and right, but for me it felt rushed. Like you didn't have to kill Nacho that quick. You could have had Howard's death way closer to the end. Like you could have.
Well, I thought, I think basically everything in the first three quarters of season six is absolutely great. There's nothing there that really needs to be changed. Like, I think
No,
the
it's
way Nacho goes out, the way Howard goes out, that's all awesome. Especially when you take into account that Howard went out at the mid-season
oh
like
yeah,
break.
yeah.
Right after his death, there was like a 2 month gap,
Yeah, you poor fuckers. I talk about that in
and
the video, which comes out in a couple minutes. Yeah, it's fucking.
yeah, no, it's like, and if Bob Odenkirk, this is like a bit of a grim thing, but if Bob Odenkirk had actually died from his heart attack, that episode where Howard died probably would have been where the show just ended.
Fuck, man.
Like with him getting shot in the head, Lalo says, "Let's talk," and then that would have been it.
Fuck. That would have been fucked, dude. Because you
Yeah,
couldn't. Like, that's a story that's built to such a peak so perfectly that you need to see where it ends. You need to know at that point what
especially seeing it
happens.
has an entire show. It need like it's not even like it's only doing for its own sake. It has to also get back to where Breaking Bad is.
I know. Like,
Um,
that would that's a show that would seriously have to consider bringing up a recast to finish it, but then you would not want to do that at all out of respect
yeah,
to
you
Bob
could
Odenkirk.
not recast Saul Goodman. There's no one else who could play it.
Oh man, but you know how desperately you'd want to see what happened,
Yeah,
and the fact that everyone else, this is their job, is they keep the show going if it's successful.
mm.
But then you can't. God, it's incredibly fucking difficult.
Yeah, that would have been a really grim ending.
Oh, dude, I
The
wouldn't
show
have
to
been
go
able to
out.
do it. It would have been known as one of the greatest shows ever that just didn't have an ending.
Yeah,
God, that if it ended there, that's what I feel with Spectacular Spider-Man. That's what I feel. It's that in my
you know,
goddamn heart, constantly, every
when it
time.
comes to cancelled shows, I hear Firefly brought up a lot, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, everyone's like, oh, it's a shame that never ended. If Better Call Saul never ended,
Oh,
that would have there would have been fucking
devastation.
riots in the streets.
Yeah, dude. I would have went
That
off.
that
YouTube
would
career
have
would have been
changed the
over.
world.
Oh god. Wow.
But
Yeah, you
yeah.
know what show
So
is
what?
ending? Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, you you had to talk around it the last time we mentioned it because we weren't going to spoil Better Call Saul and whatever podcast we were talking about.
Yeah.
But we can talk about the ending because you didn't like it. Um, or like the ending.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I really clear this up in the video that will be out by the time this is out. That for me, like the idea that he confesses to everything because of Kim, you know, that she's helping prove that even someone like Jimmy deep down can change, you know what I mean, and do the right thing. Almost that, you know, he's guilty of some of the things he's done in his past. I understand the arc and why they did it, but it doesn't make sense to me considering just prior to this, he was probably at his worst. Like, he was ready to choke out a woman with a telephone wire and willing to kill a guy that has cancer with an urn on that flight
Yeah,
of stairs. Like,
there were in the episode right before it, there were 2 points where he considered murder.
yeah, this one thing's being a dodgy lawyer, but considering murder to then have a complete character 180, like no one in their right minds changes their prison sentence from 7 years to like a life sentence. No one would. That makes no sense considering the grounded reality that this show and universe is built. And the least of all, like the last person to just switch like that would be Jimmy. I honestly kind of wanted it to keep with the idea that, you know, Chuck and Howard, they were right. All that Jimmy does is destroy everything in his path, not to turn around and give us a happy ending. I don't know. It just doesn't feel real in this kind of world.
I definitely agree. I also understand why they had it end like that. To
Yeah,
give
I get it too. I
more
still think it's a masterpiece. I still do.
happy ending.
But
Um,
yeah, the
but
ending
I
just...
feel like if it didn't, because it's like, all right, it's wrapped up. He's in prison. I feel like if they didn't end it with him having a life sentence, everyone would be like, all right, what happens next? Give us more. You've got like you left the door open now. Um,
I suppose so. I don't know. I feel like
so I
maybe...
feel like to give it a more conclusive ending, um,
Yeah,
they
I
did
did
it
talk
like
about
that.
briefly like how I wasn't really happy with the ending. I briefly touched on the idea of him dying. Like I was like, I'm not saying that I want him to die in the video.
At what point would he have been killed off?
I don't know, man. He's caught up with that much dangerous stuff. You could have some sort of karma from the whole lawyer thing or anything that Walt's done be the cause of death. And I only ever brought that up out of the thinking that the only person in my eyes that should be able to get away and smile at the end of the day should be Pinkman because he was the only one that was innocent in all of it. Like
No,
from the
he
start, he's
wasn't.
pulled in.
Rewatching Breaking Bad, I was like, man, Jesse's actually a fucking prick in the earlier seasons.
Oh yeah,
Like,
but
there's
like
that scene. I remember it's in season 3 when he's trying to sell meth to the group of recovering addicts.
yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's way worse than anything Walt does. That's like truly malicious.
I for me it was always like he was coerced into it from the start from Walt. Like he didn't
No,
have a choice.
I'm talking about things he did acting because there's that because Walt and Jesse have that thing where like Jesse's like, you're working with Gus, and if you don't get me in on that, I'm fucking you over, and I'm acting completely independently, and that's when like Hank attacks him and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I'm talking about all the shit he does while he's acting completely independently from Walt. Um,
I don't know.
he's also a meth cook and a drug dealer.
True, but at that point he's young, you know. I'm trying to defend him a little bit. Okay, he's young. He
Is
doesn't
that the
know what
kind
he's
of stuff
doing.
you were doing when you were young too?
Yeah, yeah, it was. But you could,
How old is Jesse even supposed to be? Like early 20s
yeah.
around?
But he you know, he's doing that shit for money and for hoes or whatever the fuck. But as soon as he realizes like the death and the toll of all that stuff and how bad it can get, like the ATM machine, all that, I kind of feel like he wants out, but he's too deep in at that point, and you know he later gets more and more of a heart. Like when it comes to Brock and shit, he, you know, no, enough. I want out, but he's kept as a
Yeah,
prisoner. I don't know. I just feel like he should get away, and he did.
I'm pretty sad that Todd didn't get away too. I liked it. I liked Todd.
Of course, very charismatic. But for
I love Todd. I think he's fucking great. Like Jesse Plemons, the guy who plays
yeah,
him.
yeah,
He's a fucking fantastic actor. I've seen him in a few things.
yeah.
Um,
But taking it back to Saul Goodman, I feel like Saul was very much compliant in all the that what was doing. He was just as dodgy of a man,
complicit.
making as dodgy as decisions. You know.
Yeah, no, there were multiple points where he suggests murder. It's literally like one of the things he suggests in the first episode he's shown in.
Yeah. So in terms of
Um,
it ending,
and like he says, Walter White would not have gotten as far as he did without Saul Goodman.
yeah.
Um,
Ah, man, it is
I,
what it is.
yeah, I
do
think
think
the
it's
fact
great
that
though.
he chooses a life sentence, kind of like him getting a life sentence, isn't something that I find particularly
Yeah,
surprising.
I get it
But
because
him
choosing a
choosing a
life
life
sentence,
sentence
yeah,
is what
choosing it,
makes it a little more
it,
strange.
it, choosing it makes sense for the arc that he has grown and that he can change and he's done it for Kim and he'll just live out his days paying for the things he done, trying to do the right thing, make or pay his penance for like that crap. But
And he's also got all of his fucking homies
yeah, yeah.
from the bus.
But as much as it makes sense, for me, it doesn't make sense. No one is gonna ask for a higher life sentence. It just does not make any sense. Oh, I'm so mixed on it. It's a masterpiece, and I get it, but it just didn't click with me. Unfortunately, I really
Yeah.
like the show, but I don't love it like I love Breaking Bad. There's something
Yeah, no,
about the unrelenting pace of that show, the episode to episode of crawl space. Like I just have to keep going, you know. But anyway, we've droned on long enough. I think we've given everyone a headache. So we'll wrap this one
we
up
went
and we'll
from
talk about
talking about Kill Bill to
yeah,
movie news and then to Better Call Saul.
yeah. So thanks everybody so much for joining us. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. If you want to hear some more podcasts, if these are the things you like listening to, let us know. Consider liking the podcast. That also helps. If you've made it through to the end of this podcast, you are a bloody legend, and hopefully we'll catch you next time when we're talking about Kill Bill Volume 2. Or I see you in some other video that I'm doing.
Kill Bill Volume 2, the thrilling conclusion to the second best revenge story behind The Last of Us 2.
Alright, we're heading off.